Who am I? I am transitioning pain into pleasure. I choose me. I choose myself. For the first time in 33 years, I chose to stop running away from my pain. I chose another direction. I chose myself. I chose myself because at that moment of time, I was having suicidal thoughts, I was depressed, I had anxiety, I was taking drugs, drinking alcohol, and I was self harming. I was at the lowest, darkest point of my life because I felt so much pain in my heart. And I had to make a choice. Do I go left and do I take my life, or do I go right, or do I start to choose myself for once in my life where I can start to feel into that pain that I was feeling into my heart? And that's what my journey has been about for the last 4 years, is opening myself up to start to feel my emotions. I must admit, yes, the journey started 4 years ago, but believe it or not, it was only a year ago I actually started to feel the pain and the emotions that were connected to that pain. If you can imagine pain as a black bag, and it's just blackness, it's just darkness, and that's all you feel is the word pain. But when you actually choose to sit within that darkness, inside that black bag, and you start to breathe and you're in silence and stillness, you actually start to realize that that darkness and that pain, that suffering is connected to all these emotions, and all of these emotions that you shut down and you suppressed because you didn't want to feel them at that time. So, what I've now done is I've embodied, or I am embodying, because I'm still on this journey, the emotions that make me feel uncomfortable, such as fear, shame, anger, judgment, resentment, guilt, jealousy, resentment, revenge. All of these emotions, sadness, that make us loneliness, emptiness, that make us feel like we are alone, that we're in the dark, like this black cloud that's hanging over us constantly, or a bag of stones, and every stone is an emotion that is on us back and it's pulling us down every single day. I have been there. I have known what pain feels like. I have been in bed day after day after day, not wanting to leave my bedroom, my pit of darkness, because it feels too painful. So, this podcast and this journey through my social media is all about the times that I've chosen to sit with my pain and with my emotions, so I can then transition them into more pleasure in my life. Because every time you move through an aspect that is bounded and limiting, you will go through to another part of yourself. And that's the beauty of this journey. Yes, it is hard. It's one of the most hardest things that you will ever do, is this journey of life. But through this, you're going to find more aspects of yourself that have been lost in darkness. You're going to bring her or him home to your heart. Every time I go through a part of myself that's painful, I receive a key. And it's with this key that I can open up the door to another part of myself. And I can leave another part of myself behind that no longer exists in this reality or within me. And through that part, when I find another part of myself, I find more pleasure. I am starting to enjoy life more through my senses, through my smell, my sound, my sight, my touch, and my taste. By me opening my heart and becoming more vulnerable and surrendering to myself, I'm feeling more pleasure. I'm feeling more orgasmic in this life. And that's what it means when I say pleasure. Yes, receiving more pleasure sexually and intimately with myself and others, but also the pleasure through life, like feeling that taste of an apple crunch and the juices of that sweetness in my mouth, or the sounds of the birds chirping in the background, or the beauty of the redness of a rose, or the smell of a meadow being freshly chopped and that fresh grass. So it's all these things that have made me feel more pleasure is through going through my own pain and transforming or transitioning that into more pleasure. So really the question is, are you ready to finally choose you? And I know you think that sounds selfish, and trust me, I'm a mum, so I know what it means to choose myself over my children. But how can I give 100% to my children if I'm not giving 100% to myself? I have to have my cup full so I can give fullness to my children, to the ones that I love. If my cup is half full, then how can I give anything away? It's impossible. How can I love others if I don't even know how to love myself? One of the examples I've personally gone through is sexual abuse when I was a child. And for me, this was the biggest pain and suffering I have ever endured. And I feel like it's probably one of the biggest pain and suffering that any human has to endure. But what I'd done is I chose to have that pain in my heart and to then feel into that pain. And what did I learn through being sexually abused as a child? I learned sexual shame. I learned fear. I learned anger, resentment, sadness. These emotions I learned. When I chose to feel those emotions, I chose to be free. I chose to be liberated. I chose to be less bounded and limited to my emotions so they no longer hurt me, but they actually help me become stronger. They help me become more resilient to these things in life. And yes, the part of depression is when we are suppressed through our expression. So, this is what it means to transition pain into pleasure. And this could be anything in life that you're receiving. So it could be a stressful dynamic experience at work. It could be the fact that your children are not listening to you. It could be the fact that you don't have a great relationship with your parents. Or it could be that a boyfriend has left you or a girlfriend has cheated on you. All of these experiences causes us pain. But what happened in the past is that we shut down that pain. We run away from that pain. We don't want to feel that pain because that pain is uncomfortable. But when you choose to sit with that pain, you choose to feel that pain no longer feels uncomfortable. That pain actually brings you more pleasure in life. Pain does not exist without pleasure. Pleasure does not exist without pain. Together they make one. Together they help you have these experiences in this reality. So, how are you going to embody your pain in your life, in your everyday life? So, the key things that I say is step one, stop running away from your pain. Step two, sit in stillness, sit in silence. Step three, breathe. Step four, tell yourself it's okay to feel this pain and react however you want to react, but just feel it, just embody it, bring it into your heart and know that you are safe. that you are your own person that is holding you. Step 5, give yourself compassion and love, and be proud of yourself that you've chosen to feel this pain. Step 6, what emotions are arising within you as you are now starting to feel into that pain? As I said before, do you feel shame? Do you feel fear? Do you feel anger? Do you feel guilt? Do you feel resentment, jealousy? Do you feel sadness? Do you feel emptiness, loneliness? All of these emotions are going to rise within you. And then when you sit with these emotions and you start to feel these emotions, you'll start to understand that they were here to help you. These experiences were here to help you so you can transition into more pleasure in your life, so you can feel more joy, happiness, love, passion, compassion. So yes, that is it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, then stay tuned for the next video. Ciao!